Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today to address a matter that might seem peculiar at first, but I assure you it is of utmost importance. How often have we found ourselves locked in an internal battle, a struggle not with people but with something more sinister? Demons, not in the form of creatures with horns and tails, but as the voices of doubt, temptation, and despair within our minds. Demons thrive on conflict. Have you ever stopped to think about why that is? The truth is, these dark forces do not exist to serve us or our well-being. They exist to disrupt, to distort, and to destroy, and their primary means of doing so is through conflict, internal and external. Every time we engage in a conflict, whether it's an argument with someone else or an internal struggle within ourselves, we give these demons the opportunity to gain ground. It's crucial to understand that these forces are not interested in winning a simple debate. They are interested in sowing seeds of discord, confusion, and chaos in our hearts and minds. When we argue, we're not simply defending our position, we're feeding the very thing that seeks to unravel us. Conflict, especially when prolonged, weakens us, exhausts us, and opens doors that we may not even realize exist. Imagine this. You're in the middle of a heated argument. Your thoughts scattered, emotions rising. You're so caught up in the back and forth that you can hardly see the truth of what's happening. The demons are winning, not because of their superior arguments, but because we're so absorbed in the struggle that we lose sight of what really matters. They don't need to overpower us with brute force. They need us to exhaust ourselves, to waste our time and energy on fruitless debates, so that we cannot focus on the things that actually nourish our souls. These demons thrive because we allow them to hijack our attention. They know that when we argue, we're not thinking clearly. Our focus narrows, and in that narrowed focus, the chaos spreads. The more we fight, the more entangled we become in their web of lies, and with every minute we spend in the conflict, they grow stronger. It's almost as if the conflict itself serves as a constant reminder of their presence, a constant invitation for us to stay in the chaos, to stay in the noise. What makes this all the more dangerous is how insidious it is. Most of the time, the conflict doesn't appear to be about demons at all. It might be an argument with a loved one, a frustration over a miscommunication, or an inner battle with self-doubt. But in each instance, the deeper, more destructive force behind the conflict remains unseen. When we engage in these struggles, we feed into the demon's plan to keep us distracted, divided, and isolated. But it doesn't end there. The nature of conflict itself encourages division between people, between our minds and hearts, and between our very selves. When we argue, we divide, not just with others, but within ourselves. We fracture our inner peace, making it easier for the dark forces to invade and control. We start to question ourselves, second-guessing our thoughts, our emotions, and our very worth. The demons are working overtime in these moments, fueling the discord with more lies, more doubts, more fear. In truth, the demons don't need to directly confront us. They only need us to engage with them in a way that keeps us off balance, keeps us uncertain, keeps us fighting, and keeps us distracted from our higher purpose. The dangers of mental struggle cannot be overstated. It is a silent and insidious force that creeps into our minds, often without us realizing how much damage it is causing. Mental struggle is more than just stress or frustration. It is a battleground, a war that takes place within us, one that has the potential to erode our peace our clarity, and our very sense of self. When we engage in these mental wars, we allow our thoughts to become entangled in endless loops of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. At first, these struggles may seem harmless, just fleeting thoughts, minor worries, perhaps a passing disagreement with a belief or decision. But if left unchecked, mental struggle grows. The more we wrestle with our thoughts, the more power we give them. Every time we revisit a painful memory or argue with ourselves over a choice we've made, we are feeding the very thing that seeks to weaken us. It's like fighting an invisible enemy in the dark, one that wears us down little by little until we no longer know which way is up. This constant mental warfare is exhausting. Unlike physical battles, where we can often see the toll taken on our bodies, mental struggle often goes unnoticed. It hides in the recesses of our minds, quietly draining us of our energy, our focus, and our resolve. We become consumed by our thoughts, pulled in different directions, unsure of what to believe or where to turn. The mental fatigue that arises from such inner battles is profound. It wears away at our sense of control and leaves us vulnerable to manipulation, both from outside forces and from the darkness within. What's even more dangerous is that mental struggle often leads to isolation. When we're caught in this cycle, we tend to retreat inwardly. We withdraw from others because we're too consumed with the fight happening inside. We don't want others to see our vulnerability, our confusion, or our disarray. This isolation deepens the struggle, making us feel even more disconnected from those who might offer support or guidance. The demons of doubt and despair grow stronger when we distance ourselves from the light, from those who can offer clarity and perspective. The more we engage in mental struggle, the more we begin to lose sight of who we truly are. We become disconnected from our inner wisdom, from the values and truths that once guided us. Our identity begins to shift, shaped not by our true self, but by the constant noise of the inner conflict. In this struggle, we forget that peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to remain grounded even when the winds of doubt and fear swirl around us. The more we engage in mental struggle, the more we begin to lose sight of who we truly are. We become disconnected from our inner wisdom, from the values and truths that once guided us. Our identity begins to shift, shaped not by our true self, but by the constant noise of the inner conflict. In this struggle, we forget that peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to remain grounded even when the winds of doubt and fear swirl around us. And yet, the most deceptive aspect of mental struggle is how it often masquerades as self-improvement or growth. We convince ourselves that if we just think harder, if we just dissect our thoughts more deeply, we will find the answers. But in reality, this only tightens the grip of the struggle, leaving us spinning in circles, chasing after a solution that lies not in more analysis, but in simply letting go. The longer we stay locked in this mental struggle, the more we risk losing touch with the clarity and peace that are essential to living a meaningful and purposeful life. These mental battles, while often invisible to others, leave lasting scars. They affect our ability to think clearly, to make sound decisions, and to engage meaningfully with the world around us. Over time, the strain of constant mental conflict takes its toll, not just on our minds, but on our hearts and spirits as well. It diminishes our capacity for joy, for love, and for the simple pleasures that life has to offer. The more we wrestle with these inner demons, the more we lose our ability to simply be, to exist in peace. The power of silence is a force that is often underestimated, misunderstood, or even feared. In a world where noise, both external and internal, is constant, silence is a rare and precious commodity. But in its quiet presence, silence holds a remarkable power, one that many fail to recognize until it is too late. Silence is not merely the absence of sound, it is the presence of clarity, the space in which wisdom and insight can arise. It is the stillness where we find the strength to resist the temptation of unnecessary conflict, where we find the courage to simply be. The first and most profound power of silence is its ability to break the chains of external noise. In a world full of distractions, arguments, and the relentless push of modern life, silence becomes a sanctuary, a retreat from the demands of others and the constant barrage of information. It is in this space of quiet that we regain perspective. When we silence the noise around us, we give ourselves the gift of true reflection, a chance to hear our own thoughts and reconnect with our deeper selves. The world may be shouting at us, but silence teaches us that we do not have to respond to every demand or every distraction. We do not have to engage in every argument or address every provocation. Silence has an uncanny ability to disarm conflict. How often do we find ourselves in an argument knowing that the words we speak only fuel the fire, yet unable to stop ourselves from speaking? In these moments, silence becomes our greatest ally. By refusing to engage, by stepping back from the back and forth, we neutralize the energy of conflict. In the face of accusations, anger, or provocation, silence offers us the strength to not react, to not give in to the instinct to fight back. It is in these moments that silence becomes a profound form of resistance, a way of reclaiming control over our emotions and actions. The very act of remaining silent in the midst of chaos is a declaration that we are not ruled by external forces, but by our own inner strength. Moreover, silence carries within it the power of discernment. In a noisy world, it is difficult to hear the truth. The more voices there are, the harder it becomes to distinguish the real from the false, the meaningful from the meaningless. Silence allows us to sift through the noise, to separate the fleeting from the lasting, the shallow from the deep. It is in silence that we can hear our own intuition, the quiet whispers of wisdom that we may have otherwise ignored. Silence creates the space for these insights to emerge, giving us the clarity we need to make decisions, solve problems, and navigate life with a sense of purpose and direction. In silence, we also find healing. We live in a world where we are often running from one task to another, constantly busy, constantly engaged. But this constant activity can leave us feeling depleted, disconnected, and overwhelmed. Silence, however, offers us a moment of respite, a chance to rest, to recharge, to let go of the tension and stress that build up over time. It is in these moments of stillness that our minds, bodies, and spirits can heal. The weight of our struggles begins to lighten, and the burdens we carry seem less heavy. Silence is not merely a pause, it is a form of renewal, a sacred space where we can rest and allow our true selves to emerge again, refreshed and restored. Perhaps the most subtle but potent power of silence is its ability to reveal the truth, both the truth of the world around us and the truth within us. In a world filled with noise and distraction, we often lose sight of what really matters. Silence strips away the layers of illusion and falsehood, allowing us to see things as they truly are. It is in silence that we confront the deepest truths about ourselves, our fears, our desires, our limitations. We are no longer distracted by the noise of the world. Instead, we are forced to face what lies within. And in doing so, we gain the power to change, to grow, and to become more aligned with our true purpose. Silence is not weakness. It is not passivity. It is power. It is the power of restraint, the power of self-mastery, the power of clarity, and the power of truth. In a world that often seems to value noise and action above all else, silence is the rarest and most valuable gift we can give ourselves. It is in silence that we find the strength to stand firm in the face of adversity, to resist the temptations of conflict, and to reconnect with the deepest parts of who we are. Purposeful focus is the cornerstone of clarity and success, yet it is one of the most overlooked and undervalued forces in our lives. In a world brimming with distractions, competing priorities, and endless demands, the ability to direct our attention with intention and purpose is not only a rare skill, but a necessary one. Purposeful focus is not simply about being busy or trying to juggle multiple tasks at once. It is about aligning our actions with our deeper goals, values, and purpose. It is about choosing where to direct our energy, our time, and our resources with complete awareness of what truly matters. When we focus with purpose, we eliminate the clutter. Our minds become like a sharp lens, concentrating on the task at hand, stripping away the irrelevant noise. Without purposeful focus, we become like a ship adrift on an ocean of distraction, at the mercy of every passing wave, pulled in every direction by every new stimulus. But with focus, we set our course. We chart a clear path forward, not swayed by the shifting tides around us. This focus allows us to cut through the noise and to channel our efforts into what will create real progress and meaningful outcomes. But true focus is not just about attention, it's about intention. It's about recognizing that every action we take, every thought we entertain, and every moment we spend should be in service of our larger vision. When we are purposefully focused, we are not scattered, lost in the whirlwind of life's demands. Instead, we approach each moment with the knowledge that what we are doing aligns with our deeper sense of purpose, our greater mission. Every decision, no matter how small, becomes a conscious choice, a step forward in a direction that is meaningful and intentional. Purposeful focus also brings with it a sense of control. In a world where we often feel like we have little control over the circumstances around us, focus offers a vital anchor. By intentionally directing our attention to what matters, we reclaim control over our responses, our thoughts, and our energy. We stop being at the mercy of external influences and instead take charge of how we navigate the challenges in our lives. When we focus purposefully, we take back ownership of our time and energy, making decisions that support our goals, rather than simply reacting to whatever life throws at us. Additionally, purposeful focus creates the mental and emotional space necessary for deep work. It is only by eliminating distractions and choosing to give our full attention to a task that we can achieve true mastery and excellence. When we focus with purpose, we can enter a state of deep concentration, where creativity flows, solutions emerge, and our potential is maximized. The distractions that once seemed so urgent become mere background noise, and we are free to engage fully with the work at hand, bringing our best to the table. This type of focus also has profound benefits for our well-being. When we engage in purposeful focus, we are not scattered or overwhelmed by the demands of modern life. Instead, we experience a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment, because we are engaging in activities that are aligned with our true values and long-term objectives. This alignment reduces anxiety, stress, and the feeling of being pulled in too many directions. We know that what we are doing matters, and that sense of purpose fills us with energy, resilience, and a sense of satisfaction that is hard to come by when we are simply reacting to life. Furthermore, purposeful focus empowers us to make progress even in the face of obstacles. Life is filled with challenges, but with focus we are able to navigate these challenges with clarity and resolve. We don't waste time fretting over every setback or worrying about the uncertainties ahead. Instead, we channel our energy into finding solutions, adapting to change, and maintaining momentum toward our goals. Purposeful focus allows us to see challenges as opportunities for growth, as stepping stones on the path toward achieving what matters most to us. In essence, purposeful focus is about choosing what to focus on, and equally important, what not to focus on. It is about understanding that not every thought, task, or demand requires our attention. It is about having the discipline to eliminate distractions and to say no to things that are not aligned with our core objectives. This ability to choose where to direct our focus is what differentiates those who live with intention from those who are caught up in the endless churn of reactive living. With purposeful focus, we craft our lives with intention, choosing what we give our attention to with a clear understanding of its value and importance. Spiritual armor is an invisible but incredibly powerful shield that protects us from the trials, temptations, and forces that seek to destabilize our lives. In a world rife with challenges, both seen and unseen, the need for spiritual armor has never been more urgent. Spiritual armor is not something we can physically see, nor is it something that we can simply pick up and put on. It is forged from our inner strength, our values, our beliefs, and our relationship with the divine. It is the foundation upon which we build our resilience, allowing us to stand firm in the face of adversity, confusion, and hardship. At the heart of spiritual armor lies a deep, unwavering connection to our purpose and to the forces that guide and protect us. This armor is not just about defense, it is about preparedness. The world can be chaotic, unpredictable, and sometimes cruel, but when we are spiritually armed, we are equipped to face whatever comes our way with grace and strength. Our beliefs act as a bulwark against negativity, doubt, and fear, providing a sense of stability even when the ground beneath us feels uncertain. One of the key components of spiritual armor is faith. Faith is the bedrock that supports us in moments of weakness, the thread that holds us steady when the storms of life rage around us. With faith, we are reminded that we are not alone, that we are part of a larger divine plan, and that our struggles are not in vain. It is this deep trust in something greater than ourselves that gives us the courage to move forward even when we cannot see the way. Faith helps us withstand the pressures of life, providing an anchor when everything else seems to be shifting. Another essential element of spiritual armor is truth. The truth of who we are, what we stand for, and the principles that guide us. When we know our truth, we become unshakable in the face of external criticism or manipulation. The truth of our identity, our values, and our connection to the divine allows us to navigate the complexities of life without losing ourselves. When we are rooted in truth, we cannot be easily swayed by the opinions of others or by the lies that the world tries to impose on us. Truth acts as a protective force, guarding us from deception and illusion. The strength of the Spirit is also a vital part of this armor. Spiritual strength is not about brute force or sheer willpower. It is the quiet resolve that arises from deep within. It is the resilience that emerges when we have faced difficulty and overcome it, the courage to continue moving forward even when it seems impossible. This strength is nurtured through practice, through prayer, meditation, reflection, and connection to something higher. The stronger our spirit, the more impenetrable our armor becomes. Spiritual strength is what enables us to endure hardship with grace, to transform suffering into wisdom, and to turn obstacles into opportunities for growth. Love is yet another layer of our spiritual armor. Love, in its purest form, is not just an emotion, it is a force that transcends all boundaries, that binds us to each other and to the divine. Love empowers us to forgive, to heal, and to show compassion, even in the most difficult circumstances. It is love that sustains us through our darkest hours, that gives us the strength to persevere when everything seems to be falling apart. Love is the ultimate weapon against hate, fear, and division, and when we wear love as part of our spiritual armor, we radiate an energy that protects us and those around us. Wisdom also plays a critical role in our spiritual armor. Wisdom is the ability to discern truth from falsehood, right from wrong, and to make decisions that align with our highest good. It is the clarity of mind that helps us to navigate the complexities of life with grace and insight. Wisdom allows us to see the bigger picture, to recognize that our challenges are often opportunities for growth, and that everything we experience serves a greater purpose. With wisdom, we are less likely to be swept away by the storms of life, and more likely to make choices that protect and nurture our well-being. Finally, peace is the inner calm that fortifies our armor. Peace is not the absence of conflict, it is the ability to remain centered and grounded in the face of it. When we cultivate peace within ourselves, we become impervious to the noise and turbulence of the world around us. Peace is the ultimate form of spiritual strength, because it cannot be taken away from us unless we allow it. It is the unwavering presence that holds us steady when chaos tries to engulf us, the stillness that allows us to hear the whispers of wisdom, guidance, and truth. Together, these elements, faith, truth, strength, love, wisdom, and peace, form the armor that protects us from the spiritual and emotional attacks that come our way. This armor does not make us invulnerable to pain or suffering, but it does make us resilient. It equips us to face life's challenges with a sense of purpose, clarity, and resolve. Spiritual armor empowers us to stand firm in our beliefs, to protect our peace, and to navigate the storms of life without losing ourselves. In conclusion, the journey through the complexities of life requires us to build and nurture an inner strength that serves as our shield against the challenges and distractions we face. Demons thrive on conflict, seeking to divert our attention and drain our energy. Yet by embracing the power of silence, we disarm them, creating space for clarity and wisdom. Purposeful focus allows us to direct our energy toward meaningful pursuits, while spiritual armor, crafted from faith, truth, strength, love, wisdom, and peace, protects us from the forces that seek to destabilize us. Through these practices, we reclaim control over our minds, our hearts, and our lives. By cultivating silence, focus, and spiritual resilience, we can navigate the storms of life with unwavering strength and purpose. In doing so, we transform the struggles into opportunities for growth, ensuring that we stand strong in the face of adversity.